Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, as the Bulls take on Benetton in their last match of the tour, where they are currently winless, have not looked good overseas, have the Bulls, and this is their last opportunity to really sort of brush aside the reputation that they are quickly gaining as a team that cannot travel nor and play away from Pretoria, which is a problem given the fact that they do play 50% of their games away from home. Just the one away victory for them, which did come down the road at Emirates Airline Park. So really need to try and sign up this tour with a win, or else it will be very much a failed tour. Well, I think it still is a failed tour for a side that people are expecting to kind of be in contest to win the title. To be sitting 0 from 2 away from home in Europe is not a good look for Jake White's men, but it is a decent Bulls side. A couple of big names missing though. However, before we look at the two teams, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. So in terms of the Bulls side, before we get there, we look at the Benetton side, who are at home. Benetton are coming off the back of a very big loss at the hands of Edinburgh. They got pumped 53 points to 8 last weekend, but have had quite a good start to the URC campaign. They're currently sitting in 7th place. They've got 3 wins from 5. They have scored 130 points. 119 points, but conceded 43 points with a points difference of minus 24. They're currently sitting on 14 points. They're actually tied with points with the Bulls, who are slightly ahead, pretty well ahead on points difference. But yeah, the points difference being the only thing that does separate the two sides. And obviously having the home advantage, Benetton will definitely be quite confident going into this weekend, looking to try and respond and try and really sort of hit home to a Bulls side, as I said, with a lot to prove this weekend. And if we look at this Benetton side, a lot of them are good, nice players in there, and captain by South African Duval Duvenacher. So the Stormers fans will have taken quite a liking to Benetton. So if we look at the starting lineup, it's Ivan Nima, Giacomo Nicotera, and Simone Ferrari in the front row. You then got Scott Scrafton and Federico Raza in the second row. I'm a big fan of Raza. I think that he's a nice part of that Benetton pack. But it's Manuel Zuolani, Michel Lamara, and Lorenzo Canon who excite me sort of more, especially Michel Lamara, captain, fantastic for Italy. 24 years old, he's going to be an Italian legend. I mean, it's a big thing to say, but I think he will be an Italian legend by the time he does, retire. I think that he's a player, and I'll be interested to see where he goes. I'd be very surprised if he stays at Benetton his entire career. He for me, he's too good to be, and it sounds mean, but he could be playing in the top 14. He could be playing in the Premiership, as far as I'm concerned. I think that he's a really, really top-class player. I do think that he could be playing at a better side than a Benetton. But at the same time, you've also got to enjoy the fact that he is playing a Benetton. He is backing the project, and I think it is an interesting project when you think of how they went and won the Rainbow Cup. They beat the Bulls, so it's becoming a bit of a grudge match, this fixture. But a lot of those players sort of left, like Monty Owani's now sort of living in Australia. You've got Paulo Gobizzi, who's now decided to sort of move on to the top 14. And so I think that if you look at the side, they got Duvenacher next to Thomas Albanose, and you then got the likes of Mattia Bellini, Ignacio Mendy, Joaquim Dore at the back, and then you've got the two. So you got Marcus Anon in the middle with Ignacio Breck. So good centre pairing. It is a very good centre pairing. I back it, and I think that I'm a big fan of Marcus Anon, and I think Ignacio Breck is also a very nice player. And the biggest thing is a couple of nice players off the bench, but this Benetton side are very, I suppose, it's a little bit like Italy. They're quite a passionate side, and I think when their tails are up, I think that they're a side that's quite difficult to put away. They don't go away. They stay in the fight a lot of time, and they do play a very nice brand of rugby when they are playing at their best. And a couple of very nice players. I think Bellini's a very nice player. I enjoy watching him. A lot of experience in the centres, and D.L. Duvenacher, for example, has been there, done that for a long time. So you then got John Marco Lucchesi, Thomas Gala, and Tiziano Pasquale off the bench. It's a nice front row to come off the bench. Nicola Canon, Toa Halafi, Manfredi Albanese, Tommaso Menoncello, and Marcus Watson all coming off the bench. It's a decent bench, actually. I think the Benetton depth still got a way to go, but I think it is quite a nice bench. They can add quite a nice impact. In terms of the team that they are facing, this is how the Bulls do line up. In the front row, Gerard Steenekamp and Francois Klopper have BISMARCK du Plessis for company. He does get a start. Does BISMARCK, Jan-Hendrik Wessels on the bench. You then got Janko Swanepoel and Ruan Nokia. No WJ Steenkamp this weekend. Well, no, Walsicum this weekend in the starting lineup. So Janko Swanepoel gets an opportunity, and then Marcel Garcia, Marco Verstappen, and Albert Lowe. It's a very impressive loose trio, isn't it? You got everything in there. You got the ball carrying abilities of Albert Lowe, Marcel Garcia, the on the ball at the breakdown abilities of Marco Verstappen. In Rose Appear partners Chris Smith. Chris Smith kind of sort of fallen to the wayside, almost sort of being lost within the GOOSEN hype, who misses out through injury, and that's a problem. That's a big problem because it's the news that all South African fans have kind of been waiting to see and waiting to hear. I think it's a case of we know how good he can be. Yes, he hasn't been at the top there now, and I think people are being quite harsh about him not being at his best at the moment. The guy's been out for 11 months, come back and played about 3 matches of rugby. But given the fact that they are looking at him as a Springbok option, that he is within the Springbok squad, the fact that he's not going to be able to play this weekend is a very big blow. But you do want to see the similar on the wing. David Creel on the other wing, Curtly Orense at full back. So plenty of ball carrying ability across that back line. Stefan Gans gets an opportunity outside centre. No corner. Hendricks is also ruled out through injury. Harold Forster, who's sort of very underrated, quietly going about his business, and I don't think would look out of the place in a box squad or an SAS squad next weekend. Sitting there at 12. And, for that England game, for example, I think we could do worse than have Harold Forster potentially running out at inside centre, although we do have Damon Delendi available for that game. You then go off the bench, Hendrik Wessels, Sapir Mantanzima, Mornay Smith as the reserve front row. Lots of exciting youngsters in there. So they've sometimes struggled. I think this Bulls front row is a little bit under pressure. They're really not as solid as it used to be when you had a very much on-form Liesel Walker available. You still have Trevor Nyakane, for example, and Han Krobolas. So it's not quite that sort of front row, but it's some nice youngsters there. While Steenkamp, we know what he brings. Well, WJ Steenkamp same thing. Zach Berger's a very nice player to bring on the bench, as is Mornay Steyn and Stravino Jacobs. So it's a nice bench. It is a nice bench. I think the backline players have got a lot of experience in Mornay Steyn and a lot of exciting and X factor in Stravino Jacobs. And I think Zach Berger, I think he's pretty interchangeable with Bruce Pierre in terms of their better player. I think they're both very talented. The Bulls have to win. There's no excuse really. They've got to go out and win, because they've had a horrible tour. They're getting this reputation they can't play away from home. They've got to put that to bed this weekend. They've got to go out and put in a performance. Benetton, anything can happen. And basically the winner of these two games will move away from each other because they are currently occupying 6 and 7 on the log. Let me know what you think will happen down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.